Hello there, this is CANWAN Kenan from Kenan Plays, and today we're going to play part 15 of Sickness. Alright, let's load the game. It's correct, right? There's 6 here, there's 6 here, and there's 2 here. So if I click this, 6 plus 6 equals 12, plus 2, 14, and we click this, yes, part 15. Okay, Thursday morning, September 22nd. As I woke up at an unusually early hour, I found myself comfortably sprawled out in our single bed. With Sarah notably absent from my side, I had my entire bed to myself and I enjoyed every moment of it. Just as my lengthy hospital stay, financial debt, and caused me to forget the taste of real food, so too had our living arrangement denied me such comfort. Having my own bed, a seemingly normal thing for a first world teenager, now felt like a dream come true, one thing that would last only a single morning. But as the thought crossed my mind, so did a pertinent question. Where's Sarah? Yes, I was thinking myself, where's Sarah? Forcing myself to leave the comfort and warm my bed, I staggered down the hallway, barely able to remain upright. The hallway was still dark, telling me that I had woken too early for my own good, and off to the side I could hear some sound of life, of one other human being. There should be Sarah. Light and faint murmurs were emanating from the living room. As I approached the source of both, I found. Why she's there? Why is she there? Why she's there? What the hell? The room is pitch black apart from the light coming from the television. Why on earth is Sarah up this early? For that matter, why am I up this early? Not that it matters for me, it's not like I have to wake up early given my new career, but as for Sarah, morning butterfly, I sat down next to Sarah, who was wrapped in a blanket, cocoon style. And why is her eyes so dark? Butterfly? Oh, come on, it isn't that hard to figure out. Sarah must be really tired. Forget it anyway. What has you so captivated? The sun is barely up yet. Is it really worth getting up so early? Not. Sarah bobbed her head as she grunted gestually towards the TV. See for yourself, huh? And yet, he didn't threaten you at all? Are you scared that he'll come back for you? Not at all, Lucia. I mean, he did tell me not to talk to the police, but he never threatened me. That sounds like a threat to me. Are you sure you didn't get a look at his face? It wasn't a threat. I should have known you wouldn't understand. You told me you people tried to turn this into a witch hunt. He told me you people would try to turn this into a witch hunt. You people? Do you mean reporters or law-abiding citizens? That's not what I mean. That's not what he meant. He would never... ... I'm so screwed. Even if she's just making things up, Lucia obviously can't be trusted to keep a secret. I thought I could leave her alone. I thought I could trust her to keep her mouth shut after what I did for her. But if this is how it's going to be, then I'll have to kill her? It's a little worrying that my mind jumps straight into that conclusion. But I can't say it's wrong. Yes, it's true. Because even if, she doesn't talk now, she might say something in the future, right? So you won't really know, whether it's safe or not, to be sure. So nope, kill her, maybe not. That girl needs to be silenced one way or another. I don't want to hurt her. I don't want to hurt a young girl whose only crime was being in the wrong place at the wrong time. True, but at the very least, I need to talk to her. Whoa, why is she in this once again? Let me take a picture. Oops. Nice screenshot for a thumbnail or something like that. Yon, I guess that's for it for the time being. Still a few hours before school. What am I supposed to do now? You should start by getting dressed. Dressed? Oh no, I'm not wearing any clothes. You realize it now? What a strange sister I have. Yes, a strange sister you have there. Okay, it's morning time. As the hours went by, the rest of our morning continued like usual. Sarah showered, got dressed, made breakfast, and inevitably left for school. I followed much the same routine, gleefully fulfilling my stomach and lazing about as I wondered what kind of misery my work would bring. But as I witnessed the sight of an uniformed clerk girl leaving the school, I recall I had another mission for the day. Yes, dealing with Lucia Kanye. I grabbed one of my new knives, purchased after my life-changing experience yesterday, and headed for the door. Even if I don't want to hurt Lucia, I realized that I may have no other options. Unfair though it may be, she must have become a threat to my new knife, and I can't afford to have her lead the police to me. That's true. Now that the police knows that, there's someone out there, that actually Soho exists, most probably the police might con, Lucia into giving up the information or something like that. Between the well-being of my sister and I and the life of an unfortunate victim, the decision is rather Suhotasa. Wow. He personally came to meet him? Wow. As I was about to leave the house, an unfamiliar man approached my front door. He wore a suit and openly carried a pistol at his hip, immediately giving me the impression that he was someone I didn't want to meet. Who are you? You found out that soon enough. For the time being, please come with me. You won't be performing any collections today. Wow, this guy have some good body build, eh? Sickness. Chapter 6, an offer. Whoa, finally something bright, Guided by a towering stranger, I descended the eerie, familiar staircase before me. Although I had only visited the underground stadium which awaited me once before, I remembered our destination clearly and knew that my visit meant trouble. Trouble! Given what I saw last time I was down there, I can't say I'm in any hurry to return. Watching fighters break one another causing irreparable damage was an experience I don't want to relive, especially if I'm going to be one of them. I'm going to try the word again. Irreparable damage. I was beyond relief when Marcus told me I wouldn't have to fight as long as we kept collecting. I couldn't believe how lucky I was, walking straight into a job like that. But now he's gone, I'm being guided down there. It's safe to say my luck has run out. That's sad, quite sad, right? Once we reached the point of the arena, notably empty and almost pitch black, I was led down a different path. I followed my silent guide through a heavy metal door hidden behind a vacant vendor stand off to the side of the arena. I followed the path as best I could, practically hugging the right wall as I made my way down the blind passage. It proved hard enough to even see my hands as I waved them in front of my face, let alone my destination. All I could rely on was my ability to hear a guide's footstep. Well, it seems like the guy is, maybe he can see in the dark, or he has walked this place many times in his life before. After what felt like the longest few minutes of my life, I finally reached another heavy door akin to the one preceding it. Oh, and it's so bright suddenly, my guide opened the door before I could walk in, instead blinding me with ample light beyond. Now he gets to meet the big boss. And maybe we can finally know the name of the big boss. Although we do know, right? Kuruma or something like that, I can't remember. Once my eyes gradually adjusted, for the first time I gazed upon a person I was beginning to think I never meet, yet recognized immediately. Karasu, sorry. Good morning, Mr. Tesla. My apologies for having Kane drag you down here this early in the morning. Surprised by Karasu's appearance and polite manner, I reservedly walked into the room. I had been expecting a fiendish sadist rather than a businessman, so his greeting threw me off momentarily. Nonetheless, I remained skeptical, aware of what kind of business the man before me ran. If one thing running collection has taught me is not to take the kindness of others at face value. Furthermore, if this man looks like an ordinary businessman, only a true sadist could operate underground fight like the one I witnessed. Not at all, sir. I was put in a serious expression and spoke calmly, very wary of how I acted in Karatsu's presence. Whatever his true nature, I know better than to be rude to such a powerful man. Tell me, son, do you know why I called you here? I wish I did. I had initially assumed that I was being forced to a fight after all, given the timing and the manner in which I was fetched. But if that were the case, it wouldn't be meeting such a rich and powerful man, and he certainly wouldn't seem so happy or accommodating. Realizing that my first conclusion was likely wrong, I tried to think of the next most likely scenario. Well, I suppose I've been working for Karatsu indirectly for a short while now, and the fact that I'm here means he's paying attention to me. If my misdeed warrant death or even punishment, Karatsu wouldn't need to bring me here or do any of this in person. So then, if I'm not here to be scolded or penalized, that means promotion. No, he's gonna give you an offer. You know, it's rare to see the boss face to face, you know. Most probably Marcus didn't even see the boss face to face. No sir, I better just be quiet. I don't jump into any further conclusion. Oh, not even a little hint? I figured that Tweet Marcus would have said something. Seems like he doesn't like Marcus too. Before his tragic demise, of course. Now, don't be like that. It's a joyous occasion. My child, I brought you here today to offer you a job. Wait, what? Seriously? That's right. You see, my business expands much further than gambling and underground fighting. You might even say that I'm in the middle of building my own empire. In order for my dreams to become a reality, however, I require individuals with certain skills. As quickly as my excitements have perked, the uncomfortable sensation in my stomach returned. What kind of skills? All great leaders need loyal subjects capable of executing their master's will, and it just so happens that you are the kind of person I've been looking for. A healthy, serious young man with desirable skill and a logical mind. Someone who can adapt to undesirable situations without battling an eye and with no qualms about my business. Karatsu spoke elegantly, but the undertone of what he was saying gave me real reason to pause. By my ability to adapt to undesirable situations, he's no doubt talking about my handling of Marcus' death, how I continue to work without delay. But if that's the case, he's given me too much credit. He's not as unshakable or devoted that particular event might have taken me out to be. I'm just a guy who's desperate for money and had no idea how to handle what was going on around him. True. And you want me? I'm really not the kind of person you make me out to be. Well, he's quite truthful, right? Don't be silly. I know exactly what kind of person you are. I've hired and fired literally hundreds of people this past year alone. It's my job to read a person's character. So believe me when I say if you weren't perfect for what I have planned, you wouldn't be here. So if he had fired literally hundreds of people this past year alone, isn't that proof that Karatsu is a terrible judge of character? Not that I'd be stupid enough to actually say that out loud. True. Means he's quite a bad judge of character, right? If you say so. But what kind of job are we talking about? I'm afraid it's not a job as simple as to be classified. People who undergo immediate employment rarely have a single job. And the same would be true for you. I cannot tell you more until you accept. What? You can't tell me what's the nature of a job unless if I accept the job? It's quite weird, right? Until I accept, he doesn't mean unless I accept. Yes, unless you accept. No, I take that back. Given who I'm speaking to, declining may not be an option at all. True. At any rate, Karatsu isn't exactly being forthcoming with details. This is like my work for Marcus all over again, paid in advance, then dragged into an underground arena in the middle of the night. If I accept, then you die. I'll be making more money than ever before. Not long ago, I was eating instant food and worried about whether I could pay the rent. Even now, my first paycheck will soon dry up and I'll need another source of income. Working directly for Karatsu would be like a dream come true. Until it kills you. True. You know what? This inner voice now is actually not telling you something bad like to kill somebody. This inner voice is actually protecting Suho. A change for once. Yes, chances are the job will be dangerous. This offer only manifests after I killed 3 people and left behind a deceased partner. With my sudden bloody and dubious track record, there's no way this job offer can be anything peaceful or legal. Am I really okay with that? While it's true that I've never been a moral person, I can't deny I've fallen quite far in a shockingly short period of time. Is this my last chance at turning my life around, or have I rather progressed past the point of no return? Side, so how is it, huh? Well, looks like the inner voice stopped at 2. Usually they will go to 3, right, the inner voice. I understand your reservation. I know that you're only getting used to your new life. You have only been working for me for past 2 weeks now. For 2 weeks now. After all, it makes sense that you need more time to come to a decision. I mean, it's a life-changing opportunity and it's not one you can easily walk away from. However, there's one thing you should understand. Karasu moved away from the desk and slowly crept towards me as he spoke. Have you ever wondered why a town like this, one so horribly discriminated, has such a low crime rate? It is because this is a town where crime itself doesn't exist. Police, judge, politician, they are all controlled by those with money and power. If they say something is legal or a person is innocent, then that's how it is. And as one of those wielding such power and wealth, the one who will soon own this town of legal crime is standing right in front of you. So, whether you want to succeed, live an enjoyable life, or simply survive, I'm the one you must pray to. True, until I overthrow you. I expect answer by the end of the week. Whoa, he's quite nice, right? He still gives me the end of the week. Whoa, a new place. What's this place? A cafe? Let's just continue with this. Having already lost an hour from my morning, I mindlessly wandered around the city, unsure of what to do myself. My day had been thrown into disarray the moment Kane showed up on my doorstep, and with his insistence I not show up to work, my entire schedule had been cleared. All that left me was Karasu's proposal and the weight associated with such a decision. Working for Karasu directly, who would have thought that getting my partner killed would lead me to such an opportunity? Yup, Karasu directly means you just ranked up. You just got promoted. Whether or not it's an opportunity I actually want, however, is another matter altogether. Speaking objectively, I'll surely be making good money. I'll have a constant source of revenue, being able to look after Sarah, and even rent a place closer to our own home. On the other hand, any job offer earned through homicide is bound to be dangerous, not to mention illegal. No matter how well it pays, a job that gets me killed isn't worth pursuing. But if he says that he's able to control the politician, the police, and the judges, doesn't that saves you from the 2 other incidents which you killed the 2 guys? And you don't need to kill Lucia anymore, right? Faced with the dilemma of unplanned free time, I unconsciously made my way towards Andrea's dream, Andy's dream, to put my worries aside for a while as I focused on training my body. Until I arrived, however, my concerns weren't going anywhere. Being a collector may pay well, but it isn't terribly interesting. It's also dangerous, as Marcus' death has shown. With that in mind, accepting Karasu's offer might not be a bad idea. If I'm going to risk my life and work every day, I might as well climb the criminal ladder while I do so. And even if I do wind up doing something despicable, I'd rather stood to a new low than get my gut blown by some mid-aged whack job. That's just leave me with a new, higher paying, potentially safer and interesting job offer on a silver palette. True. This should be a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer. Ending my train of thoughts early, I arrived at Andy's gym. I entered the gym through the side door that Marcus and I usually use, quickly wondering why I bothered. Damn, this place is totally deserted. I can't hear a thing. The lights are off. Aside from the unlocked door, there's no indication that anyone should be here. I guess this explains why we have always gone after work. I thought the gym typically opened in the day, but apparently not. You know why it's not? Because Andy is dead, and you do not know Andy is dead yet. Well, serves me right for trying to take the initiative. I turned around to leave, sensing a presence behind me the moment I did. Hakapa! What the hell is that? Is someone here after all? Dude! I tried running to the door, but after a few steps, my assailant struck again. Struck from behind, I fell to the floor without much glimpse of my attacker. You're dead. Cold steel passing through my throat, accompanied by a low, emotional, deprived voice I never heard before. In a matter of a second, I found myself face down, injured, and left a knife against my throat, outmatched at every turn by my attacker. But as I braved myself for the worst, the steel against my throat disappeared, leaving behind only fear and anxiety it brought with it. Honestly, I don't see why the man's so fascinated by you. Who's that? The gym light slowly turned on, gradually increased from a low dim, to what I consider adequate lighting. Having regained my dominant sense, I turned around to lay eyes on my attacker, not at all surprised by the sight awaiting me. Who's that? So you must be Mrs. Tesla. Master said to expect you by noon. Behind me was a young man a few years older than me, dressed in nothing but black. My name is Leon. Pleased to meet you. Leon extended his hand towards me as he spoke. Rather than shake Leon's hand, however, I simply glared back at him, not too happy about the initial greeting he offered. 1 second he has a knife against my throat, the next he wants to shake my hand? Forget it, it's a little too late to be acting friendly now. Seeing that I had no intention of obliging, Leon eventually retracted his hand. Fine then, if that's how you want to do it, let's jump right in. Leon turned his back at me and started walking towards the ring. Without saying another word, Leon gestured me to follow him in the ring, opening the door on the cage and inviting me in. He quickly shuffled through the assortment of weapons and pulled out 2 wooden swords, throwing one over to me and taking the other one in hand. Any experience with a weapon? Though worried about the initial intent behind Leon's statement, I calmly thought over his question. I've used things like baseball bats and other sporting equipment, but no doubt that's what he meant. Means the only tool I've used to hurt others is a knife I bought, assuming that counts? Nope, none. Too bad. Bishu. First hit, first blood. Today's gonna be a long day. So what? So Leon must be Ken's subordinate or something like that, right? Then they expected Suho to go into the gym, cause he has nowhere else to go. After less than an hour of training with my new instructor, I could barely move a muscle. I found it impossible to even defend myself against the onslaught, let alone fight back. Or I thought I would have at least stood a chance in a hand-to-hand combat, but as Leon insisted on the 2 of us using weapon, I suffered an insurmountable disadvantage. What a joke, what kind of training was that supposed to be? All I learned was how truly powerless I was in real combat. After rendering me physically unable to fight, Leon turned into one of his theory. He showcased a variety of weapons and explained how to use them, defend against them, to which in what and to use in what situation. All good advice that fell on deaf ears. Barely conscious, there was no way I could absorb such a wealth of information. I couldn't even stand, let alone think. Leon soon picked up upon this, offering me a short break before bringing out his bag full of weapons once again. We repeated the cycle a handful of times, and every time the length of our sparring was reduced exponentially. Finally, after I threw up for the 6th time, Leon gave up, leaving me alone in the dark, empty gym. Sai, what am I supposed to do now? If I try to stand up, I just go to pass out from the pain, and with the number of bruises decorating my torso, laying down isn't an option either. I guess there's only one thing I can do. Sarah might be worried by now, it can't be helped. I just have to make it up to her. Finally, oh no, Suho is gonna faint. Wake up. Alright, he's gonna faint. Alright guys, I think this is a good place to stop. Thank you for watching part, can't remember, 14 or 15 of Sickness with me. I'll see you in the next part of Sickness. Thank you for watching, bye. Whoa. Did you get scared? Well, subscribe to my channel and I promise you'll never get scared again. Or watch more videos and you will be able to find your peace in life.